Okay, in the last session we talked about for loops with range, right? So we dict and range, and now there is one obvious topic which we need to cover, which is altering how the loop works, right? And we did cover this in a lot of detail in the while session. This is the break and continue mechanism, right? So while loops we covered this in a lot of detail. I showed you the pictures and all that stuff. So you can refer back to how those things to just refresh your memory. What I am going to do here is going to give you an example of the same thing to jog your memory, and it also shows you in the context of a for loop, right? So let me do this. I am going to have my trusty fruits, but maybe I will just put a few more fruits this time. A copy paste makes it faster, and then I'm going to do a for loop, right? For fruit in fruits. Now the loop starts. Then I'm going to create. So typically you want to break on certain conditions, certain reason, right? So I'm just for that checking, I'm using a if condition. If ban in fruit. So this is going to say, this is, remember we used in check when we talked about strings, right? How you can find whether a string is present inside a so fruit. So here I am going to say ban in fruit, which means that particular string should have ban in it as a substring, right? If that happens, then I will immediately break. So what do you think? Before I execute this logic, I will, so this is done, and then I want to, okay, mistake, one print, need to go back here, print fruit, see that. So what happened here? It actually took the fruit, which is apple. It checked whether ban is in apple. No, therefore it didn't break. It printed it. So apple came out. Then it picked apricot, which is the next item. Ban in apricot. No. So no break. So it comes out here and does this print. Then it takes banana, and then it sees in this if condition, if ban in fruit here, and then it says, oh yeah, it is true, and therefore it breaks, and that means it breaks out of this for loop, and therefore it doesn't print any of the other items, right? The same thing, if I, instead of break, if I do continue, what do you think will happen? Think for yourself, try to predict it, maybe write down in a piece of paper, and then run this or look at this part of the video, right? So we do that, and I close this. See what happened? What it did was, it actually took apple, printed it, apricot, printed it, banana went into this inside this if loop, and it did a continue. Continue does, from here it goes back, right? So break breaks out completely. Continue just continues to the next one. It doesn't execute this, it continues to the next one in the for loop, which means blueberry. Blueberry does not have ban in it, so it prints blueberry. Then it takes chiku, does not have ban in it, so it prints chiku. So only banana is missing. Exactly like we saw how break and continue works in a while loop. So for loops is not different. The break and continue works very similar. What I will do is, I will also quickly cover nested for loops, and the same, and there also the break and the continue just breaks out of the immediate for loop, right? What I am going to do is, I am going to show you remember we had this ice cream flavors thing. So I am just going to use that to create. So I am going to see this while ice cream was there, right? So this was the complex while ice cream code we had written. All I wanted to do was, I wanted to print out flavor and fruit, right? Obviously this has, I also explained a lot of continue and stuff like that with this, but if you just want to print all combinations, we still were working a lot with these indexes and all that, but see how much simpler it is with a for loop. For ice cream dot py. Okay, we have that here. I'm going to just pick the definition, right? So just want to, in some cases copy paste is useful, don't use it every time. So copy paste makes things quicker and every program, every developer will use it, but when you're learning things, try not to copy paste. Use type it out, which will allow you to remember things. Once you have mastered it, then obviously use copy paste, because you need to want to do things fast so that you can learn new things and not keep on doing old things, right? So copy paste is useful, but don't use it in the initial phase when you're trying to learn it. That time type it in, because that helps you to remember better, right? So I have defined the flavors and fruits. All I have to do is now print the combinations are, this is just a prelude to so that the user understand what we are talking about. Okay, that now the for loop. So for flavor in ice cream flavors, right? Then, so the first loop is out. Then I do for fruit. So remember, flavor will get one flavor each time, and then the inside for loop will execute as many times as the fruits. So for a given flavor on top, the fruit will be executed as many times. So in this case 5 fruits are there, so as many times, and then I can just do print. I'm going to use f strings flavor fruit. So that's it. So let us just see this working. I'm just going to come out of this, the REPL Python for ice cream.py, right? I got all my combinations. So see, for a given flavor vanilla, it actually printed vanilla apple, vanilla banana, vanilla fig, mango, orange, right? All the underlying fruits, and then it picked the next flavor and then it combined with all the fruits. So it's nesting, right? So take the first one, go through all the others, then second one from this, then all the others in the second loop. So the same thing it does, but look at this code, it is so much more clean, right? Because you are able to get individual items and print it compared to this while one, right? Now see, while has its use, but when you're working with collections and stuff like that, for is much more clearer and simpler, right? While it comes into play in other places, I just wanted to show you the nested nature of it. But if you are going to work with collections or any iterables, always prefer the for loop, right? It will create much cleaner code. That's it. I think we are done with the for loop. I have just one more short video and I think we will be done with this session. See you in the next one.